welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show tonight. It's my mucker, Bridge. How are we doing, Bridge?
Oh, wonderful, thanks. By the way, very pleased to be on here tonight again. This is a really good extra bonus we've got. People talk to each other about the famous, so looking forward to it. And I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well, but I think it's only fitting that we give a shout out to all the Rangers mods out there. Huh?
Oh, so Mother's Day, of course. Do it. You go ahead and do it, pal. You're far better than I at that.
Yeah. To all the Rangers mothers out there, thanks very much, because without yous, we wouldn't be able to go to the games when we were young.
Absolutely. Can I just say a huge good evening to the boys in the lobby? Huge good evening to you, of course. Huge good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Happy Mother's Day and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yeah. So we opened up the voting for the Rangers Radio Player of the Year, Bridgeman, and Stephen Davis is in the lead, but we'll see where that takes us. We'll have it open for a few weeks yet. As people call in, they can make their votes. Quite interesting, isn't it? People's thoughts.
Yes, Stephen Davis, yes.
Midfielder,
man's
Bridge,
class.
You know what I mean?
Midfielder. Well, he's one of the best that we ever had as a midfielder, he really was. I thought, it's good, mate. What's that? It's an awful lot of folk. No, I don't know what it was. Sometimes you feel as if something's stuck in your mouth and it's rotten, Excuse me. A lot of folk like to start talk about Barry Ferguson and people like that. And I understand how great he was. I've watched him many times. But I don't think he's done as much for Rangers as this boy, Stephen Davis. And I mean that in a way of this done it for Rangers, not trying to take anybody's skills away. But what this guy's done for Rangers is just outstanding. It's just outstanding. And immeasurable. Immeasurable is a good point for it.
I think Barry Ferguson is a great player for us, a tremendous will to win, Barry, and put the same team in 2008 as Stephen Davis,
Yep.
But then Barry would have been, not a veteran, but a maturer player compared to Stephen. But I've been allowed to judge, but it's difficult to always judge different players. But Ferguson would be up there. But for me, Stephen Davis, for his consistency, mate, he's so consistent, isn't he? He didn't start the game particularly well on Thursday night, if I'm being honest. But he grew into the game, didn't he?
I think it took our midfield quite a while to get into the game. All of them in midfield took a while to get into the game because that team were, tactically speaking, they were spot on to play against us the way we play. So they were doing some sort of midfield type passing, holding the ball, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden it was a chip over the midfield and dangerous chips, because they were finding their men at that point. So they were in good spaces and high enough up the park to put the pressure on. So their press was pretty good, and it was their passing game was very good as well. I must admit, they were really good.
Yeah, I just did my text there, man. Guess who? If I'm laughing,
Big Stevie for the drum.
No, Mr. S. Kipper.
Oh no, not him.
It says, what engraving do you want on the Player of the Year brick?
Yeah, so he's selling the bricks engraved, is that I just love it. Love it. Well done, Skipper.
I think he's got 200 bricks left. You can get them signed by anybody, any Rangers player, past or present. I think he goes far. Even the Gallant Pioneers, newly signed.
Newly signed, yeah. What a shocker. Yeah.
That's what it says in his advert, mate. Right, the question I'm asking you, and I'm going to ask you callers before they open the line, I'm going to just give you a wee second to think about, have we broken the bridge with our reaction in the last, I'll say 10 days, but before, have a minute to think about it. But what we're going to do is we're going to say, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You're going to have to go in a course to work that mute button. Right, on you go.
Sorry, pal.
On you go.
Yeah, I was actually sitting here thinking that, and I think we have actually. I do think we have from a football perspective. Maybe even as an up to the level of club, we were a wee bit still a wee bit behind them. I would say last season, and of course then the administrative people stepped in and just handed them the title. Now, I'm not saying they wouldn't have won it anyway if it had got to the end of the season, because that would just be daft to say that. But we still had a game in hand at that time, and the chances are we could have caught them a lot closer. But they handed it out to them anyway, and it might have been justified stopping the league. Some people might say this it was okay. Personally, I don't think it was. They should never give titles out without the season finishing. But they did it, and I think that was the start. That was the beginning of the end for them. I don't think they realised what they had done against themselves, because it all bounced against them. They then went into the summer and thought we were still brilliant. Blah, 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 blah. Never signed any decent players at their level anyway. And before you know it, they're 5 or 6 games into the season and they're struggling. And and it kept on going. And in the meantime, of course, they had their, what do you call it, random computer fixtures. And that's still going on right now.
Just have a look at that, Bridge, when you say that. The fixtures, yeah?
Yep.
When you say that, mate, there's the top 6 as we stand at the moment. Yeah, the top 6. Obviously us, yeah. Them, Hibs and Aberdeen, Livingston, and one or the other, yeah. Potentially could be, I don't know, it's who's in the pole position this now. Let me just make sure I get this right. It's St Mirren as we stand this now, yeah?
Right.
Yeah, so it could obviously go between St Johnstone and Dundee United as well. If there was a big swing for goals for Dundee United, but St Johnstone have got a chance if they win. I don't know who plays who, but it could be interesting. So we, St Johnstone and St Mirren, I think they're both the same. We've only played them each once once away. The top 5 teams, mate, we've played each of them already twice away, mate. They contrived everything with their fixtures, mate. Everything.
Now, I don't know how the SPFL rules are there. I don't know what the score is with them. But in my opinion, based on what you're saying, there is no way any club, not just Rangers, but any club should be forced to go and play 3 games, 3 times away from home against the same team. It just shouldn't happen.
That's what would have happened. The chances are it might be Aberdeen, mate, yeah, that we'll go to 3 times in a season. Now, just think if there was only a point in this league, how farcical that is, and that's the point I'm making about the mess of Scottish football. But we'll go back to the original point, mate. We've broken them with a reaction, and they're going on about celebrations. We're having to hear about how the placement in the media. We know what you're up to. We know exactly what you're up to. And by the way, it took some people a bit of time to wake up. But now people are on your case, so we don't buy, we don't click, and we don't read. And some of your institutions are suffering because of it, because the Rangers support is getting more smarter and more united, Bridge.
And long may it continue, because we've been calling, certainly on Rangers Radio, in some way for people not to buy. Don't buy the Record, the Sun, and any other paper that's anti-Rangers. And by the way, that would mean virtually every paper, isn't it, in Scotland? So I think Larky used to keep a lot of monthly list or something of what their sales were, and it was pretty low. And I dare say it's still getting lower, only it's never getting produced that I know of, you know. So I would love it that someone come out and told us what the Daily Record sales are and what the Sun sales are. And the Sun, I cannot believe that the Sun sells more papers in Scotland than the Daily Record. And that shows you how far that's fallen. Yeah.
I mean, we've all been on holiday when you go looking for back in the day, and everybody went looking for a day old Daily Record. You paid a couple of quid for it just to read it. You know?
The first time I didn't go looking for it, my wife thought there was something strange. Because you're right, just exactly that. I was doing it at the shops as soon as possible. I went into the shops, wherever we were.
Hello? I've cut across your Bridge. We got a
okay, pal, go for it.
Evening, Gordon.
All right, pal. Absolutely amazing that you've answered to me. I'm getting emotional already. I'm a Parkhead boy. I'm absolute Rangers mad.
Aye.
And I'd like to say a big shout out to my pal Anthony Bronski. And I think the Rangers have been absolutely brilliant. The other night was brilliant. I don't know what you boys got to say. I'm a Parkhead boy, you know what I mean? But I'm Rangers daft. My dad was a Brighton boy.
There's a lot of good Blue Noses in that area, mate, you know.
Whereabouts in Parkhead are you from? Where in Parkhead are you from?
Straight across there. It used to be called the Sideline, but I think it's called the Turnstiles now or something. Obviously, where I lived and all that.
Was that Tollcross Road or something?
I went to London Road School, London Road Nursery, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? I've got Rangers drummed into me. But it's absolutely amazing that you guys have put me back, to be fair. I absolutely love your channel and absolutely love it. I'll give a big shout out as well to my big mate Anthony Bronski.
Brilliant, mate, brilliant. Big
It's
shout out.
great. I'm absolutely Rangers man, mate. I can't believe we've done it.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Stevie G's a man, isn't he?
Aye, brilliant, Gordon, brilliant.
Absolutely
the last week's been emotional, mate, for everybody.
Very, mate. I'm in tears talking to you, to be fair, but we've waited a long time.
Don't get upset talking to me, mate. You're all right.
I know, but you know how it is. You know how we go, know what I mean? I'm from Parkhead as well, know what I mean? I collected ginger bottles and watched the cars and done all that shit, know what I mean, mate? I'm a proper Glasgow boy, you know what I mean?
Aye. I know exactly what you mean. We were just discussing that before the show.
See, when I lived there, pal, we done 9 in a row, know what I mean? When I lived there, so I didn't realise that we could go as low as we went and then come back as a machine, you know what I mean? Absolute brilliant, mate.
Right.
Can I ask you a question, Gordon? Oh, sorry.
Aye.
Listen, Gordon, we'll get some more callers coming in. Really great to hear from you, mate. And you keep listening.
Aye.
And don't be afraid to phone in when we win the cup.
What was that guy who wanted to ask me the question, though?
On you go, Bridge.
I heard you saying you used to live in Parkhead and moved?
I lived in Parkhead. I was born and bred, mate. My mum and dad.
Where are you from?
What age are you?
I'm a lot older than you.
I know, I'm only 40 old, but what age are you? Because you might know my mum and dad. You might know my mum and dad, eh?
No for Parkhead, pal, I'm sorry. But where are you living now? Where are you living now, Gordon?
People. They were Brighton people.
Where are you living now?
Thank you very much anyway, lads. I don't want to keep...
Right, cheers, Gordon.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
I'm Rangers too.
Oh, what a nice man. What a nice man.
Absolutely, pal, absolutely.
So, we'll go back to the way they've reacted on social media, some of the statements, even if Glasgow Passenger Transport, an official tweet. Absolute disgrace, you know.
That is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting what they've said.
You know, somebody put it there, you know, and hopefully they find out who it is and the culprit will pay with their job. And you know me, Bridge, I don't like to see people losing their job, but sometimes people deserve it. You know?
Yeah, agreed. No, that guy didn't deserve. I don't know whether they said something about it. They found out through his account. I don't know whether they're talking about the account within SPT or whether it's his own account. I don't know. But wouldn't be surprised, but.
Aye. So have we broken them, Bridge? That's the question.
I think so. Well, there's a good chance that we've done it anyway. There's just they don't have anything, and I think they're to me their final fling was getting themselves over to Dubai, and look how well that turned out for them. I must admit they still have favourable support throughout the media and what do you call it, and television. Papers, television, press, papers, radio. Oh my goodness gracious, it's not real. So they've still got a lot of support.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But things are changing slowly, mate. It's amazing. I seen we were again a story on Football Focus yesterday, and the bigwigs in the national BBC must be asking serious questions, Bridge.
Well, you know, we're sitting up here in Glasgow, and you know, for all these years that this crap's been going on with them, I just maybe that's why I hate the BBC with such venom. I really and truly cannot believe that any allegedly impartial organisation. I love watching Football Focus. I love watching the match of the day. You sit and listen to people like Gary Lineker and you know, a few other really good players in their day, and they're giving their honest opinion of what's happening, and they never get any of this biasness. Nothing. Well, I don't know anyway.
So it's never looked for his fairness, Bridge. That's all we want.
That's what you want.
Okay. I think we've been joined by a caller. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hello, Bob Ger. How are we doing, mate?
I'm doing all right, pal. How you doing yourselves? All right?
All right, mate. All right. Oh, you've been the player of the year, so what's here for you, mate? Your
I was thinking about that the day, the player of the year. Well,
in third place.
And third place, for sheer consistency, like the rest of them, of course, has got to be Mr. Connor Goldson.
Okay, 1 point to Mr. Goldson, yes.
Yes, and in second place is who I think is the best goalkeeper in the whole of European football. Obviously, it's Mr. Alan McGregor. But all season long, again, that word consistency. The man makes the game look so easy, so simple, so fluent, and I can't believe the standards he reached. As you're going to love me here, as it's Sir Stephen Davis.
I'll pass you on to Bridgeman.
That's exactly what I put. That's the three people I did in that same position. So I think that well done, Bob Ger. I can't see. There's not very many people not going to consider Stephen Davis as part of that. And as I say, there's still quite a number of games to go. So maybe other people come in as well, you know. So, but really,
Tab's been great as well. And of course, yeah. They've all been great.
Well, your whole back line's been outstanding. Didn't it matter? No. You could split it between Balogun and Helander, to be honest.
The whole teams are outstanding.
Yeah, and you could, as you move up, you find out, wait a minute, in the midfield, we know we've got Stephen Davis, but sometimes we've got Ryan Jack, sometimes we've got Rebo and some. Real brilliant. All the players in our squad are brilliant, just brilliant.
Hello, Rangers Radio.
Hello, Mr. Fox. How are you doing?
It's Alec Kelly here. Who am I speaking to?
Fox.
Oh, you're on it.
Oh, Fox, how you doing?
He took himself off mute. Oh, dear. Fox is doing his receptionist of the night. Sorry about that, Bob. He
just said I muted him.
Brilliant.
Just brilliant. No, Bob Ger, well done. Good. That was really good.
Very professional with Fox here, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hello, Rangers Radio. Very impressed.
Yes. And you were asking the question there, have we broken them?
Yes, have we, Bob Ger? Come on, you tell me.
Well, I don't know if it's possible in Scottish football to break a club the magnitude of Celtic. You just said yourself there. I've said it. They've got a huge support and they're a huge club, and to keep them at bay takes a lot. But what we've done this season is just nothing short of miraculous. What we've done with the club overall is just nothing short of miraculous to turn it around to win a championship again from where we were. Because every quarter in the media, every quarter of these other clubs, every quarter, there you go, has tried to do away with Rangers, tried to put us, and they've all failed spectacularly. And the way we're feeling around, the way things are looking, I'm walking about my community and I'm seeing nothing but Union Jack standing with Rangers flags, the kids with the Rangers scarves on, everybody's puffing their chest out. It's a great, wonderful time to be a Gers fan again because you're on top. And we've got to strive enormously to keep the club on top, keep us where we are. I don't know if we're broken them, but we've certainly more than equalled them this year. I'm sure you'll agree with that, guys.
Bob, well said. Anyway, we've been joined by Alex Kelly. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Fox, Bridgeman and Bob Ger. How are we doing, guys?
How you doing?
How are you, Alex?
Yeah, I'm fine, guys. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Well,
Aye, yes, aye. Mother's Day indeed.
Well said, mate. Well said. How you doing, mate? What's on your mind, Alec?
Just to continue the discussion for last night, I take it we're still picking the 1, 2.
Well, we're going to hold it open for about a month, mate.
No
Maybe
bother.
a few 3 weeks. So on you go, mate. Give us your top 3 in reverse order.
Reverse order, I had Tavernier. James Tavernier is my number 3.
Oh. I think he would have won it if we'd have done this at Christmas. But on you go, mate.
I was just going to say that if he'd have carried on injury-free through the rest of the season, I think Tab might well have won it. But because he's dipped out the team the last few weeks, but I've got to keep him in there for consistency because he's been outstanding up until the injury. My number 2, Mr. Consistent all season. He's been mentioned numerous times already. Is Connor Golson.
Okay.
The big man, what a difference in play. Both him and Tavernier, the difference between them this year to last year is incredible. Absolutely brilliant. He's been a rock for us in defence. But I've got to say that my player of the season is Sir Stephen Davis. The wee maestro has been fantastic. He's just the brains of our team. If it was any time that we're looking to pick holes in a team or orchestrate games, to slow games down, to speed it up, the wee man's just got it all. And you got to give credit. The engine he's got on him at 36 years of age and the way he conducts himself for our club is exemplary. It's what a Rangers player should be.
Yeah, he's pulling away in this poll. He's 8 points clear of the guy in second place at the moment. So that says it all, if you like, in a wee straw poll already. But it's just, when he plays well, Alec, he just does the simple things really well. It's the brain, isn't it? You know, how many times have we seen him? He's playing in midfield and he runs behind the opposition, makes a wee 5-yard run and takes the ball off them and away we start a move. Just because of his brain.
Yep. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time. He purrs through games like a Rolls Royce. He's just absolutely brilliant, the wee man.
You don't find many like that, do you, Alex? You don't find many players who are the brains of the outfit and can do what he can do. Midfielders are notorious for their bad temper and things like that, you know. So
yeah,
kind of slip up. Did you play in midfield, Alex?
No, me, mate. No, I was never that good. I was like you. I'm kind of brain dead. I was a defender.
That's what you put on those cookies.
What an insult! I feel insulted, Alex.
That was meant as a compliment.
Well, I've always believed, certainly some of the levels I played at, I've always believed that the defence was the main part of the team. If you can get your goalkeeper and your defence right, you will make a long, many strides forward, and then you can manage to cement in some decent players in midfield. If you've got the cash, because that's where they get very expensive, and as further up the field they go, the more expensive they get.
Don't listen to a word they said. You put all the chookies at the back, hiding them out the way, and hoped you could keep the ball up the other
Bob Jim knows that's untrue. Totally untrue.
Oh, dear. Now, I tell you about the year and a half played, we had the dirt on us with one Saturday to the next. But, Stephen Davis, what can you say? I mean, I came on here one night a couple of months ago and said, I thought, and maybe a lot of people would throw their eyes up there, I thought Davis was up there with Pirlo. I really do. They've never played that amount of international football, consistently well, and the amount of club football he's played twice for Rangers, as you know. He was a model of consistency the first time, taking us through to a European final. And here we are in the latter stages of Europe again with him in the middle of the park. And he's just a terrific player, the wee man. And I think he would deserve it to get the player of the year. I definitely do. That's how highly I rate him.
When he gets this cap situation, I've said it on here on numerous occasions, I think it would be great when things go back to normal at the right time. It might not be next season because it might still not be normal, but at the right time, the Rangers play Northern Ireland in a friendly at Ibrox for a testimonial to Stephen Davis. He's due.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be really good, that, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
By the way, can I just come back to what Bob Jer was saying? I honestly don't think it was as good as Pirlo. because you're talking about one of the greatest players the world ever produced there, in my opinion. For us, excellent, outstanding for us, outstanding. I'm not meaning no disrespect or anything. I just that's the way I look at people like Pirlo. There are not very many people like him, played football like him or anything like that. He really was a kind of one-off.
I would say that the biggest compliment I would pay Stephen Davis, that in maybe class terms, you get world class, and Pirlo for me was just behind that. Yeah, you know, your real top players, your once in a lifetime Messi's and Ronaldo's, and if you go back to Maradona's, Cruyff's, Pele's, etc. Yeah, Oxchair, those kind of guys, right? And then you have you have then you have the ones below them not knowing the door.
Oh,
you know,
can't believe you
and
tried to
was
say
in
that.
there, mate. And then Stephen Davis is just, and it's some compliment. That's how good I rate the guy. Because Alec, you said it right. His consistency. Once you stop laughing, his consistency.
I can't believe you put yourself in there. What
is it like? Imagine putting your own name in beside Pirlo. Oh no!
Brilliant.
God bless you, Oxford. God bless you, pal.
Does any think? Here's a question, guys. Does any think that Stephen Davis could play in Serie A, or he could have played in Serie A when he was younger?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Absolutely.
I don't mean to differ with you. All I'm saying is that I don't think Stephen Davis is at that level. I think Pirlo's at a particular level. And
but what would have been
absolutely?
What would have been interesting, Bridgeman, if Davis would have been playing in that Pirlo team that had the players run about him for his international team?
No, 100% right. We will never know. But we can only go with the guy we've watched since the first time he was here, and he went away down to Southampton, and a lot of us followed the way he played down there. And the latter couple of seasons, he wasn't actually getting a game. But it's true that he was at the international level. He was absolutely outstanding for his country. You can't ask for more than that. You just can't ask for more than that. And then he's come back to Rangers, and he's outstanding for us. Well, what can you say? And he's still performing in Europe with Rangers. And sometimes best man in the park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful player. We're very lucky to have a player of that stature. Yeah. I mean, you notice the Southampton midfield now, eh? No, that you probably would, but I mean, look at the state there and their relegation prospects. When Stevie Davis was down there, I think they were middle to front in that league. They were doing okay. And I heard that the Southampton people absolutely idolise them. I thought they were wonderful.
You know, these are tough.
I'm going to go back to Alex with a question that I asked you to when you come on. Alex, when we're discussing with the boys, have we broke them with a reaction? The vile that's been spewed out concerning the 66, concerning obviously Walter Smith in the last few days, just their reaction. Are they broke as a support?
I think they broke themselves up. They've set themselves up for a fall, but I agree with you totally. It's a disgusting, disgraceful reaction for them, but they've built themselves up into a frenzy that they took the 10 in a row for granted. They just dismissed us, you know, and it's all their own undoing. So suck it up, because we've had to suck it up for the last 9 years. So I've got absolutely no sympathy whatsoever for them. But just to go away from that, also, I was actually watching Slavia Prague earlier today. Just a wee insight. They actually won 3-0 away from home there. And see the wee guy Stanshu, the guy that scored against us. He scored a fantastic goal again. He actually scored 2 today, but individual brilliance. What a player that boy is. See if we could go and get him. He's Romanian. Haji's father has a wee word in his ear. As I said the other day, Billy Gilmour isn't featuring at all for Chelsea. That's a possible replacement for Davis or Ryan Jack in the future. And possibly John Fleck to go down to Sheffield United, because they're looking to be relegated
Championship.
Week 5 on
Just possibility.
By the way, I thought that was a bizarre decision to get rid of that Chris Wilder for that club. Bizarre.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. The guy done a great job. That's his team, Sheffield United, and they got a bad start. And you just say, right, okay, but right this season off, but you've got to get us back up. Give him a chance to get them back up, But there you go. Only the way I seen it.
And that decision was purely finance, because I think they knew. I think they just signed a new contract to, and I think they knew they were getting relegated. They couldn't pay that money for a manager. They're going to pay us with his salary, and they can't in the Championship.
Guys, what do you think?
Massive parachute payments, isn't they?
What's that, buddy?
Massive parachute payments.
Oh yes, they'll get all that, but they'll have that budgeted for something else. I just think it's a financial thing, and that's what I think was happening with them across the city. That they're getting rid of Lennon. It's just purely financial. Stick their temporary manager in.
One at a time. There's only 3 easy on
Sorry.
No, I was just interested in your opinion about Billy Gilmour. I asked you the other night, but I didn't get much chance to discuss it. What do you think, Billy Gilmour?
When I've seen him, mate, and I don't profess to have seen him a lot, you might notice we're quite busy on here during the week, and we don't get to see all the games. But the couple of times I have seen him, I think I see him playing. It might have been Lampard's last game. He played in a cup tie.
Mm-hmm.
He played for him. He was neat and tidy, and he still looks. He's no got to the man stage yet. Obviously, he's neat and tidy on the ball, and he works very hard. I don't even know in the moment for watching that if he'd get into a team, mate, if I'm being honest. But listen, you'd need to see him week in, week out to judge. Bob, and then Bridgeman with it.
I can just hack back a couple of minutes. I heard Gordon saying there about make a comment there about the 66 and Walter Smith. They're no stooped as low as that, have they? Didn't tell me they went as low as that, surely. Understand the question?
Yes, mate. Go back to Billy Gilmour, mate. Enough of it.
Aye, right. I know. I just wanted to touch on that. Deary me. How disappointed I am. Really terrible. Anyway, Billy Gilmour, this Tuchel doesn't seem to fancy him, does it? I watched Chelsea yesterday, dinner time, and you take a wee live wire in the middle of the park like that, Kante, and I didn't see Gilmour getting a game there for a wee while yet, as good as yours. What we would maybe hope is that they'll maybe send him up here on loan. But you're quite right what you say, Ox. Would he get in our midfield? You've talked about a man that's a special player. Would he replace Glenn Kamara? You don't know. But he'd be a good addition to the squad, I would say that. That'll be a quality addition to the squad, the boy.
I mean, the boy's got a chance, Sal. He's only a young boy starting out. But Bridgeman, and you come, mate?
I don't think Gerrard would fancy Billy Gilmour at the price they will be asked, because it's going to be an enormous price to get him out of Chelsea. I think he's no longer just signed a 4 or 5 years contract with him as well. Lampard never played him every week, but he brought him on. I don't think this manager is going to play him at all. So I think they might, if they accept a reasonable offer. I don't know whether Rangers can afford the reasonable offer, but if they did come in with a reasonable offer, I don't know whether Chelsea could afford not to keep him. It's just quite a situation for the boy. Loved him when he was with us. Loved him. Saw him coming on a few times for the youth. Looked really, really good. Really good, And then all of a sudden he was spirited away. And I think Rangers got a couple of quid for him, but at the same time he's obviously a star in the making. It doesn't look as if he's a star in the making any longer, because he can't get in that team. And I don't know if he'll ever get in that team, to be honest.
Had a bad injury.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, he had a bad injury, did he?
He had a bad injury, aye. I think he missed quite a bit of last season. Bad knee injury, the laddie. So I don't know what his fitness level is or anything like that. But I mean, as I say, I seen Chelsea yesterday dinner time, and I was looking at that wee Kante, a really, really good player. And I said, Billy, I think you're going to have to wait a wee while, because like the rest of us, when we watch Chelsea, we look for him coming on just to see him. We haven't been an ex-Rangers, laddie, so, So might be a wee while on the bench for Billy, yeah. We'll see.
I mean, the boys got talent. talent? Is he better than Stephen Davis? Is he better than Glenn Kamara? Is he better than Ryan Jackson?
That's what I'm saying. No, he's no. I don't think so.
For me, I would have him in. I would have him in front of Kamara. Definitely. I mean, the English were raving about him. Was it 2 years ago he broke into the team and he played Liverpool in the Cup, and we know how good the Liverpool team is, and he was absolutely outstanding. Gary Lineker was absolutely.
Sorry,
Is that the wife there, Bob?
It's Mother's Day. We couldn't have a go at her, could we? I know, but I mean, everybody said a wee purple patch. He's hardly played, but it'd be interesting. I mean, some people will be like he's better than Davis. Is he potentially better than Davis? Yes, he is. Is he better than Davis at the moment? No, he's no. Not in my opinion. You know, you're paying for potential there. I think Bob G's back with us. All right, Bob?
I've returned, yes. Little friend next door. I was still on about Billy Gilmour.
Aye, just to finish it off, you and Alex. Yeah, on you go, mate.
This to me?
On you go, Bob. Right. Back to Alex.
Aye, yeah. You say it's hypothetical. You don't know. But I don't think anybody been getting the team in front of Glenn Kamara. Glenn Kamara's been great, been terrific. Model of consistency for us. I think Glenn Kamara's slightly stronger than him, actually. But Gordon's right in what he said. He came on against Liverpool and he was absolutely stunning, outstanding, the boy. And he would be, I think we'll all agree, he would be a really, really good addition to your squad. And you're talking about bringing them across the city. That would make them set up if we were getting that laddie in your squad. That would make us even stronger. So, yeah, I'm in agreement that Billy Gilmour comes up here.
Alex, can you come, mate?
Yep. I just remember an interview with him. Obviously, his profile was getting higher in England, so the English were quite curious of his background, and they done an interview for his bedroom, and honestly, it was wall to wall Rangers. His youth days, his Scotland youth days, just everything he idolised. Try to think of the player, but he had them up the wall. But it was a Rangers player. I think it might have been Barry Ferguson, but he's a Rangers boy at heart. Our club was obviously a bit of turmoil at the time. He didn't know Steven Gerrard was coming in, so his parents kind of made the decision, probably to benefit his career, to take him down south to stable. But our club's a different club now. Under Gerrard, we're far more stable. We're going for honours. We're playing brilliant in Europe. I think it would be a great move for both the player and the club if we brought that boy back. But I'm not talking about a permanent deal. I agree with Bridgman. I don't think we could afford a permanent deal. But if we get him back in a year's loan and just see how it rides out for there, I think it would be a good signing.
Maybe if we have a share issue and Bridge put some of his money in, we could afford it.
I have to admit it. I think we might start to really reel in our thoughts on that lad. I don't think he would come to Rangers. I don't think he'd be allowed to come to Rangers. The money would be far too expensive, even for a loan deal. I don't think so. I really don't. And I'm not being funny. We have to wait a couple of seasons till he's closer to the end of his contract before you make a move for him. Seriously. But a wonderful player. And a youngster, a wonderful player. And we've seen him a couple of times with Chelsea. But not of late, so...
By the way, he'd never get any backlash for the support when he went. I think everybody understood it, didn't they? You know, same with the boy McLeod went. They sort of went with people's best wishes, really, didn't they? Because he understood, absolutely. You know?
Yep. Barry McLeod.
That's the truth.
Nowhere to for him to the same extent, though, eh?
No, that boy had a bit of talent as well. Maybe not as good as Gilmour, but he had a bit of talent and an awful team.
Aye, he did, aye.
Well, he's still making a good living, isn't he, Barry McKay? He's still making a good living.
Fleetwood, I think.
Yeah, so he'll still be getting some dosh at it, you know.
Aye. Not as much as you pick up on a Monday for the post office, but he's still there.
Aye.
You know what I mean? But it's Be interesting to see how it pans out. What's the areas for you that we need to strengthen then, lads? Where do you think? Go to Bob Chair first.
There's a lot of speculation about Alfie here, whether he's going to stay or whether he's going to go. And I think we did need to bring in another striker. And, where we're going, who we're going to get, it's all into speculation and wonderment at the moment. But that's widely speculated that Alfie wants to go, or there is the carrot of the Champions League. You never know. But I think we should bring in another striker. And I really didn't think Itten's going to make it, boys. I don't know. Might prove me wrong, the boy. I don't know. But I don't think he's going to make it.
I wouldn't say I've been over impressed with him, but he's done some nice things. And I think away in Poland, he maybe his best game for us. But to be fair, the boy, he's never had 6 games in a row to really see what he's like. But I get your point. If Morelos goes, and obviously we're assuming that the 4 finishes, Alex, we could be short in the forward positions.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. We don't know where Jermaine Defoe is going to stay on in possibly a coaching capacity, or where he wants to continue his playing career. But I mentioned a name, John Fleck. Again, I don't know with the wages and everything, but you're kind of looking at the teams that possibly going to dip out the Premiership, and the guys don't want to play in Championship. So there was also was it Lundstrom in their midfield has been connected with us for a few months. So that's another one that Gerard might be looking at. Yeah. But he's a powerhouse in the midfield, and just with Ryan Jacks. I know my pal Andy Felix will not be happy, but he's been pretty injury prone. He's hitting. He's
not getting good numbers with the games he's played.
Yeah,
you know, and
he's a smashing player.
You need to keep standing still. Fleck and Lundstrom. Would that improve the midfield, Bridgeman? 2 boys that have played and get relegated by a distance in the Premiership. Is that the level we're looking at?
Well, no. To be perfectly honest, no. I don't think we should be looking at that. If they're the wrong end of the Premiership, somewhere in the middle of the Premiership are just above the relegation and out of relegation danger in any way, shape or form, then you could qualify that and say you could do that. But any of them are just going to go down. I doubt very much. They might not even get a game for themselves. If the club need to get rid of them for their wages and so on and so forth, then they're not going to come to Rangers. Because they're still going to need high wages that a club can't afford.
Here's one for you. Go to Bob Chair with us with what's happening in world football, and obviously cash is tight for everybody. Do you think there could be some good bargains out there?
Definitely. There's players going for a variety of reasons. COVID being one of them. The clubs are getting the income for crowds coming in and what have you. You don't know how unpredictable these season ticket sales are going to be. There's a hell of a lot of good players going to be available in the next window. So it's just maybe a case of sitting back, waiting to see what's available. As you know, Rangers are looking at players all the time. And you're right what you say there, Bridgeman. We've looked at the extremity of the Premiership. We've looked at the top with Billy Gilmour and at the bottom with John Fleck and Lundstrom. I didn't think they would be... Gary's right. I mean, the boy Lundstrom's a big, strong boy, but I don't know if he'd be a quality addition to your midfield. Strength, but that's about it. But there is going to be a glut of players. A glut of what standard I don't know, but there will be a lot of good players available in the summer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Sorry, I was doing a bridge, man. It's going to be interesting now, and there could be some bargains out there all over Europe.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, Bob Jerry, it's Alec you're speaking to here. I don't call you Big
Alex,
Dave.
Sorry, but apologies, sir. I'm getting old. The grey matter's know what it was.
No, but listen, I watched quite a lot of football across Europe, and I'm really impressed with this guy Stancio that for Slavia Prague. Really impressed with him. That's a couple of games I've watched him. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. I think they signed him for €10 million, which is obviously the top end of your scale. But there's plenty of guys in the Scandinavian leagues. I watch a lot of Danish football and Dutch football. Obviously, the name that we're beginning to get around Europe, plus the Steven Gerrard effect, I think we are very much trust Ross Wilson.
We spent about £10 million in Kent, yeah?
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know how we paid that over 1, 2 or 3 years. That's the usual, isn't it? So, so would we go again and maybe spend, if Stevie G thinks it's somebody that's going to improve a lot, would we go again and spend 10, 12 million quid to take us to the next level? Do you think he'll do it?
If he's serious about going to the next level, and you know how adventurous and ambitious Gerrard is, he wants Champions League football, so he might well convince the board, obviously depending on the backing for investors and stuff, to go to that next level. We need that next level player, which obviously means more finance.
It's difficult, isn't it, football, really? It's not any other business, but man, you say, right, we're going to sign these 2 players. One of them gets injured after 6 weeks, the other one's homesick, you know? You just don't know what you're going to get, do you? Bridge?
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah, and that's the truth. Having been a victim of that homesickness type stuff, you know, for a good part of my life, and yourself included there, when you're down the road. I know it's only a matter of a couple of hours really for driving, but it still doesn't stop the feelings you get. But as far as the Rangers are concerned for signing people, in my honest opinion, I have to say this: no way am I thinking in buying any players. I don't care what's happening. I wouldn't be thinking in buying any players at all. I'd be looking for players who are at the end of their contract and we could pick them up. That's what I'd be looking for. Good quality players that are maybe they're end of their contract, but their team's not going to keep them on. Then I'd pick them up there. I wouldn't be paying millions of pounds again. No way.
The point
on you go, Bob Joe.
It's a point I'm making, Bridge. There's going to be a glut of players come the end of the season. There's got to be, as I say, but you know, with the lack of crowds, etc., like I pointed out, they've got to be. They're bound to be looking to offload some of these astronomical wages. To me, it's reaching a point now where clubs can't take it anymore. And I don't know, I'm not an expert in finance, like I keep saying, but to me, you're looking at the general state of the game and what's happened with the pandemic. There's got to be an offload. There are a lot of players, a lot of quality players, and yeah, I'm quite willing to sit back and look and see what the market is going to throw up. I mean, I don't want to pick on the guy, but we don't want another Zungu situation, do we? I think it's going to quite work out for the guy. It might, yeah, you never know. But you see, you're right what you say, Ox. A lot of things can kick in. Homesickness, I'm come here, my wife doesn't like the weather and stuff like that. You don't know. I think it's a time to sit back and look at what the market's going to be like in the edge of the summer.
All right. Anybody in Scotland tickles your fancy, Alex?
No. to be truthfully honest, no.
Don't sit in the fence there.
And I'm certainly not taking Shane Duffy either.
I liked that last night. Bill Hughes said put him forward for Player of the Year. Bob, anybody in Scotland? I'm trying to think.
I think so. You're asking that question, Ox. See that lad at Hibs? The left back? Aye.
Oh, the young
boy?
No
Boyle. No, the young boy. There's a Doig.
Mm-hmm.
The left back is a young boy, and he looks a really big, strong player, useful player. But anybody else? Lewis Ferguson? No. Lawrence Shanklin? No. Sorry. No. I think we've had enough at the time we look at them and say, no, they wouldn't improve you.
I've got to say, the caveats I've seen of Lawrence Shanklin, he's improved on me. I thought he was just a finisher, but his game's improved. But obviously, if you would like to think if he was going to cut the mustard for us, we'd have been doing what a rash looking at him. You know, but no, there's nobody springs to mind in a row when they want to give him any money, would you, Bridge?
Oh, never. And even, no, I'm not being funny, even this last close season there, I know we went and got the young lad right, and we got him a real reasonable deal for the managers, in the manager's mind, and probably in anybody's mind. I don't want to go down that road again. I really don't. I don't want to be even talking to other clubs about players. Seriously, that's the way I feel. That's how hurt I feel. My heart is never going to end. By the way, I can tell you that. The hatred towards our team and the fans, just that example last weekend there, it just went absolutely tonto on us. They didn't know what we were doing, and we're sitting back there wondering what on earth are these people doing. And one of the first questions, Oxford, you just said to me tonight, have we broken them? And that's an example. They're riddled, and throughout the whole social structure, and they're just dying. They're dying because they can't get at us. They can't do nothing to us. They'll try, and they're going to continue to try, but they actually can't. And I don't want to be involved in all that crap. I just don't. Personally speaking, I only want to go down to England. We can buy Scots guys from down in England or bring them up at the end of the contract, whatever it is. But no these looks. You're only giving money to people that hate you and detest you. That's the way I feel.
And you think about it, we've done that for nearly 150 years when you think about it.
Yeah. But I think it's different times now. I think it's a different kind of opposition we've got, an enemy for that matter. These people really did. I believe sincerely, these people revelled in our problems. But they frightened. They got themselves a fright because they expected the other league to just pop us straight into the first division, and then we would come back up. The Blue Pound would come back up with us, so they could deal with us for a year. They never dreamt they would have to deal with us for 3 or 4. They just never dreamt it, and we kind of broke the league. We kind of broke the league, and you look what's happened since Steven Gerrard came in last May, 3 years ago in May, this May. So 2 3/4 years he's been with us, and every single manager that was there has gone. Changed them all. Maybe once or twice as well. Unbelievable. Not one manager left that was there when he came in. Incredible. That's the way it is, you know. The longest serving manager, and wasn't that like a fortnight ago they were saying he's only a young manager. He's hardly a rookie. He's the longest serving manager in the league now. Wow. So that's how I feel about the rest of them. So I don't need to say it anymore there.
Listen, I get your sentiments, but if there's somebody say Murrable and he's got 6 months or a year left in his contract, and we think our recruitment think that they can get him for, say, £250,000, you know, would I rather take him a year early for £250,000? I would.
Fine. So I'm not saying that we don't do it. All I'm saying is, if you ask me, in my opinion, I wouldn't do it. But if the Rangers go and buy someone, when they put that blue strip on, I'm supporting them.
I'm not talking about individual, but what I'm saying is you're actually giving money to the clubs, you know.
Oh, I wouldn't give them no, you know that. I'm not going to say.
I understand the sentiment, but I think we need to be careful, Alex, that we didn't cut our nose off to spite our face.
No, but Bridgman's just giving you the example of why he's a millionaire. He's just very shrewd with his money.
Exactly.
Shocker, Alex. You're a shocker. A lot of you.
Yeah. Bridgman, I've never said anything about your finances, pal. I never said anything about your finances. I Ken, you've got a house in Fife. You've got private property in Fife. Yeah. No, seriously, you're right. You're right in what you said. We financed these people for years. Colin Steen, 100,000 quid at the time of the Hibs. Well, they must have thought Christmas was coming early, although Steen was a quality player. I don't know. I didn't see anybody in Scotland. I like that laddie at the Hibs. He's a good player. That Nisbet, no sure about him.
No,
I think they might try and go for him.
He's disappeared, hasn't he? Since he's
scored yesterday. Scored yesterday.
He's moved from Birmingham, fell through, he disappeared, didn't he?
See, the big thing with them boxers, this is, I've said all season, they underestimated us big time. And look what happened to them. They brought in people like the boy Ayeti and the other Polish laddies at Kamala, and they weren't up for it. They weren't up to it. They thought that their squad, like they had the old hands that they had, I'm not going to rattle all their names off in this programme, but they thought they were capable enough of winning the league easily again, and it backfired on them. This weekend, the last couple of seasons under Stevie G has been building, and we've only played for like half a season. with the world mistake at Kilmarnock and the way we underperformed in the second half of last season. But this season has been so consistent, so good. We built up a team here that's a really good standard, getting to where we are in Europe. We've got some record in Europe now the last 3 years, and we all know that. And we want that maintained. And we've got to get the right signings in for to maintain it. Not just willy-nilly picking on a boy, signing them and playing them.
If we win on Thursday night, Alex, we go above them in the club coefficients. So what have they actually achieved in the last 10 years?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, we've took 3 years to get above them. They've had 10 years of procession. But Oxford, I'm not surprised, because when you look at the record, their last time they won a knockout tie in Europe was 2003. 18 years ago. That's embarrassing. It's no wonder our coefficient is so bad. But listen, see, just touch on what Bob just said there. I hope you don't mind me saying, but I know Colin's team pretty well, and we've managed to secure him for an interview with Ibrox Radio this Friday at 10 o'clock. So, yeah, so you're all welcome to tune in, guys. So it should be. Colin doesn't speak to any media or that outlets very, very much, but he's a really nice guy. Anybody that's met him, and what a Rangers legend he is. Rangers royalty he is, really.
It was definitely a story to tell, mate. Story to tell.
Yep. What a player, eh?
Right, okay. Well, Bridgeman, would you believe that?
It's not that time already, sure.
Don't tell me exactly. Don't tell me it's that time already, for goodness sake.
For God's sake.
By the way, we're only
time fly when you're enjoying yourself.
We're only just getting started.
Oh.
You know, Fox, you don't use a double time for a Sunday, mate, so...
You know what he's like. I know what he's like. Can I just say then, party's over. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly the Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, keep it going for the Rangers. And I think we've killed them. Keep it going.
All right, can I thank Gordon, who joined us, Portbit in my head. Gordon, Alex, and Bob Ger. Thanks to Bridgeman for joining us, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night when we'll be joined by the one and only Port Bear. Thanks for listening. Stay safe and happy Mother's Day once again to all the Rangers mods out there. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. When McAvenny scored the first, the beggars thought it was the first of many. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. It didn't take long to realise when Super Ali equalised. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Then up stepped Super A. It was a 30-yarder all the way. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Then Andrews claimed he couldn't see when Super Ali made it 3. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. The Ibrox fans, well, they wanted more when Kevin Drinkle made it 4. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, Ibrox Park, it came alive when the bold Mark Walters, he made it 5. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. When Billy McNeil went home that night, he said to his wife, the Celtic are shite, oh Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews, oh Rangers, you got me singing the blues. You got me singing the blues.